Hey everybody, it's Romania Black, and we are on episodes 13, 14, and 15 of Ace of the Diamond Season 2. Oh my gosh, maybe I won't talk for an hour about these episodes. I make no guarantees, right? The last set of episodes, I just went on a tangent for like an hour, and I'm sorry, but it just had to happen. I was so in love with the last set of episodes. They're probably my favorite of the series so far, especially episode 12. Episode 12, Self-Destruction, is so good. I have a real... Ugumori is facing Seidou next. I have a big... I got a feeling I'm going to love them. As a team, I'm really excited about that, and I'm just really hyped to see what happens with our baseball boys in this next set of episodes. But yeah, Inashiro's out. They're out of the tournament, and Seidou, they did a 5-inning sweep with Saomura pitching. They're in the next round against Ugumori. What could happen? So I'm really curious what we're doing from here on in, because it's anybody's game at this point, and I'm really excited to see what all happens with our boys moving forward. So I'm pretty excited. But yeah, I will go ahead and say that the holiday season is coming up, and this set of episodes is going to come out right on time. I'm recording this on Sunday, and it's going to come out Wednesday on Patreon and Thursday on YouTube the following week. So this set of episodes is pretty much on schedule like it normally is. But after this, I'm probably going to be recording with the Untamed and Ace of the Diamond. These files are always my biggest ones to upload, so I usually have to do it from work because my internet at home is not fast enough to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and record a couple weeks ahead, just until the new year, just to be ready, because I'm going to be on break from work, and so I won't be in the office the next couple weeks after this week. So if y'all say something in the comments and I don't get to it until episodes later, that's why. But I'll still talk to y'all in the comment section about it, even if I don't address it in these episodes. But yeah, so I'm curious to know. Last episode was mainly about Inashiro, so I'm going to be curious if we have like a little break before we start the next game, or if we're going to dive right into it with Ugumori. Umemiya is really, really fascinating. I like him, this manager, Gachan, the guy that stole the bases, him, and their whole team. I want to know more about them. We didn't really get much. We just got more on Umemiya, who has a pitching style a lot like Saomura, just he's kind of like the Raichi version of a pitcher, which is kind of fun. So I'm excited to see what all we end up with his character, and what we do with these episodes, and if we're going to start the Ugumori game or not. So we shall see, won't we? But I am excited, y'all. I can't wait. But let's dive in, shall we? We're going to start episode 13 of Ace of the Diamond Season 2, Fissure. And we're going to start it here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Okay. Oh, man. All right. So these episodes were really good. They were very good. I don't think I'll have an hour's worth to talk about last time, but there is a lot that is getting developed in these episodes that is fascinating. I'm so glad that Zono and Miyuki made up by episode 14. I'm so glad, because when that whole drama started at the start of this, I'm like, is this going to be something that's going to throw off the whole game? Thank God they got that out of the way. I was like, thank you, show, for not making this like a season-long thing. But, man, so I don't think Nabe's going to quit. I don't think so, especially after Miyuki pulled it together. I don't think Nabe's going to quit. And Miyuki is such an interesting character, because I love Miyuki. I do. I love when he's trickstery, when he's trolling. I love that he does genuinely seem to care about the other players to an extent. But Miyuki, again, Miyuki's biggest problem is communication. But also Miyuki, I would argue, his other biggest problem is that he's a prodigy. And so he's naturally really good. And that's why Zono gets mad, because Miyuki can't always relate to the other players that aren't good. And that's where Zono and Kuromochi come in. Because Kuromochi's like the middle person. Kuromochi's like in the midway. Kuromochi is a good player, but he's also had his own struggles. So he kind of can relate. Zono's like full empathetic with all the players. Kuromochi's kind of riding that line of being the neutral party. And Miyuki's just like, no, here's our goal, we'll just do it, and we have to do whatever we can to solve it. And it's like, that doesn't work for everybody. And so Miyuki's not the most empathetic character. That's the problem. And at the beginning, when he was getting on a Saomura and he was like, change your attitude and focus on Ugumori, don't focus on the losing team, I was like, you're a little bit harsh there, Miyuki. But then you realize later on that Miyuki was just projecting his own insecurities and frustration that they're not going to play Inashiro onto Sawamura in that moment. He was just projecting his own anger because he was very mad that Miyuki was mad they weren't going to get to face Inashiro, just like Sawamura. They both were upset. And Miyuki was just like, I'm not upset. And it's like, yeah, you are. So there's that. But before we get to that, Now is the manager's name. And it's so funny because in Free Iwatobi Swim Club, when you get to season 3, there's a character called Now. And he's like a mentor figure. And he's very similar to this Now. He can swim, though. Poor Now can't play baseball. But he's kind of in the same boat. And I like I'm sorry, but Now and Umemiya, the glances that they give each other, those weren't bro glances. No. There was nothing. That one glance they gave towards the end of episode 15, I'm like, there is no heterosexual explanation for that. I was like, no, you guys I'm totally shipping them hardcore. But I love Umemiya being like, their banner says always all out and saying that we're always a challenger. We're always going to give them hell. It's like, it's very Inarizaki vibes from Haikyuu. I love it. I love their spirit. Umemiya is great. He's so wonderful. I love his character a lot. But yeah, so we have this really sweet moment where Jun and the other person that was with Nabe and them, they offer to help Sawamura learn the new stretches, and Haruichi's with them too. I'm like, that's so sweet that they want to help Sawamura out. I like that behind the scenes, like everybody still gives Sawamura hell because Sawamura can be a little annoying sometimes, but I like that behind the scenes, like all the, like, Kuramochi's a big Sawamura supporter, Zono is a Sawamura supporter, but everybody's like slowly supporting Sawamura behind the scenes, and I like it a lot. But yeah, Miyuki was mad. He was mad at Mei. And that's the thing. Miyuki's like, if I was your catcher, I wouldn't have put up with that. So he was like, Harada wouldn't have put up with that. Neither would I have. And so he's mad at Mei because he's like, why did you turn down those pitches? Those were going to be easy pitches to go with. Your hubris got in the way. And so you can tell that Miyuki is mad at Mei for the decisions that he made and that it cost them getting to face each other. But Zono, ugh. And then them talking about Nabe taking the good notes and bringing up the idea that Nabe doesn't want to quit because otherwise he wouldn't have taken such great notes for y'all. And it's like, it's so true. But Zono getting mad at Miyuki, oh man. And Zono being like, you're not my captain and all this. It's like, and I have to say, like, then it cuts, of course, to Rei saying that she thought that Nabe might quit first year because she didn't think he had the dexterity to hold out. And he has. And then Kuramochi's like in the center of it all. But Miyuki, the one part about that episode 13, that I was like, Miyuki, and you can blame it on the fact that Miyuki's mad in the moment. And it's just like it was like a defensive, reflexive thing. It's like when you say something and you immediately regret it when you're arguing with somebody and you say something mean and then you think about it and you're like, I shouldn't have said that. Miyuki's moment about playing house, where he's like, we're all just pretending to be buddies and playing house until this is over. We're all just here because of baseball, and that's the only reason. I was like, ooh, that's not, one, what a captain should say, and two, not what you should say. And it's like, oh, that was cruel. Miyuki saying, well, we're all just going to break up at some point, so what's the point? Let's just get this over with. It's like, Miyuki, dude, you're the captain. And that's what really pissed Zono off. And so in that moment, I'm like, yeah, Miyuki, you done goofed. You shouldn't have said something like that. Like, that wasn't necessary, I was like, ugh. And then, meanwhile, while all the second years are having all this drama, Sawamura is getting help with his Meikin stretches. It's like, all the first years are having this innocent moment, and the second years are having all this drama. I'm so glad they cleared it up. But then there's the bathroom scene. And I swear, between this show and Haikyuu, it's like you can't go in the bathrooms because the bathrooms are dangerous. There's confrontations in the bathroom. And the funny thing is, I've been in this situation that Umemiya's been, where he's like, there's no toilet paper, help! And Sawamura helps him. I find it funny that he tossed it over instead of handing it under, but whatever. And then that was so funny. He's like, are you a god? And then he doesn't even acknowledge Sawamura. I'm like, the dude helped you and you don't even acknowledge him. But him going to shake Furuya's hand, and Furuya's like, wash your hands first. It's like, yes. But then playing the head games. You think that Umemiya is really nice, and yeah, he is, and you're like, oh, he's not a delinquent, he's not a troll. And then he comes in with the mind games where he says, don't chicken out. And he's just planting the seed. And luckily, Miyuki got Furuya out of it, right? Furuya, Itsuki was not able to get out of the mind trap that Umemiya laid in the last episode, but Furuya was able to because Miyuki basically bitch slapped him back into reality, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, oh my gosh. But yeah, just a reminder that Umemiya is here to plant mind games and troll, and that's just how we do. But yeah, the start of episode 14, I was really worried about the team because Zono won't face Miyuki, like his face is in the shadows. The second years all look like they're at a funeral, and the first years are all like, what's going on? And nobody seems happy. And I was afraid that was going to be like that dour mood was going to carry over into the rest of the episodes. But luckily after the episode 14, it did not. And I was so thankful for that. But yeah, so they established that, but yeah, Furuya starting the game, I'm such a Sawamura fan, but honestly, I'm glad that Furuya's having a good game. I am. Because Furuya, I feel like Furuya gets a lot of hate in this series because he is the rival character, but he doesn't really do anything wrong. He's just good. It's so frustrating, right? But I'm glad that Furuya is having a good game, and he's getting his second win. He's made it to 7 innings so far. I actually it would be cool if we had this comparison of Sawamura being able to start games and finish them quickly. That would be awesome. If Sawamura is like, when Sawamura starts the game, it's a quick end if it's the right team. And Furuya, if that could be the two factors that these two players get, if Sawamura could like start and get games over quickly, and Furuya could be like the one to get stamina and outlast the long game, that would be kind of cool. I like it. I like it a lot. But they still established that his early game on is still weak. And then there's that whole thing about not chickening out. That mind game was planted. And Miyuki was like talking about being in control. And then Tojo trying to catch that. When Tojo tried to catch that one ball that Umemiya hit and it just kept going, that hurt. That hurt so much. But there's that tie back to the Mei and Itsuki battery, and Miyuki realizes it in that moment. He was like, it's the same thing was happening, was that Furuya wasn't, and it's not like, here's the worst part about it. The worst part is Furuya is not quite as cocky as Mei. Furuya's not cocky like Mei. He's not he's a diva in his own way. Furuya is Goldilocks. Everything has to be going his way for it to work out. But he's not a diva about it, you know? It's the weirdest thing. And so it wasn't like he was saying no to Miyuki's pitches and like telling Miyuki he was wrong. He got caught up in the moment and Umemiya's mind game and was like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to pitch because I've been challenged by this other pitcher and I'm going to try to face him head on. And Miyuki was like, no. And when it cut back to in the dugout, Miyuki was like, we're not going to face him head on because that's not a good idea. We pick our battles, and the battle for today is we're not going to do that. So it's like, so I get it, right? You get it. But, oh man, it's like you get what's going on. And then Miyuki just getting mad. And Miyuki was having none of it. Miyuki, he talked the talk back in the game where he's like, I wouldn't have let, if I was in Itsuki's shoes, I wouldn't have let Mei boss me around and not do what I asked, right? And so in the moment, it's kind of harsh what Miyuki tells him. Miyuki's like, I told you to pitch this way for a reason. You didn't do it. Do what I say or get off the mound. And it's like, and Miyuki's just making a point. He's like, I'm the catcher, and if this battery is to work, we have to work together. And Furuya, you don't sugarcoat things with Furuya, right? You can't sugarcoat it. Furuya has pretty thick skin, surprisingly. Furuya has pretty thick skin, and you can just tell Furuya like it is, and he's not going to cave under that pressure. Furuya's almost kind of dense, in a way. He's mound sexual. He's just there to play baseball, so he doesn't really... Furuya's very simple, kind of in that regard. So Miyuki's like, I can be straightforward with you and be stern and give you a talking to, and you're not going to fold. You're going to build from it, right? And so the others kind of get a little bit like tense at him for a second, but he's like, no, you're not just representing yourself out here. You're representing the team, and we all have a goal. So he is basically telling Furuya, don't pull a Mei and be doing this for your own agenda or your own reasons. He's like, do this for the team. I'm part of the team, and I'm telling you to do this. So it's like, I mean, it was a tense moment, but Furuya can handle it, and it ended up working for the better. And it got Zono thinking, like, okay, Miyuki may know what he's doing. He doesn't always express it very well, but he may know what he's doing. And so then, yeah, and there was a weird signal there where Miyuki looks up to Nabe and he does like this signal, and I don't know exactly what that was. And y'all will probably comment down below. I don't know if he was trying to like get Nabe to like rile the crowd up or to do something specific. I don't know why he did that move, right? But he did it. I'm sure you guys will comment down below. But yeah, they established that Umemiya is the team's engine. He is Ugumori's engine. And now kind of confirms it later on when Now talks about how Umemiya feels and that driving the team. And we'll talk about that. It's very Sawamura-esque. Sawamura, when Sawamura is not in a good mood, the whole team notices it and affects the team. Umemiya is kind of the same way. When Umemiya, as long as he's fired up and ready to go, he's like the soul of the team. So there's a very Sawamura-like edge to it. But yeah, Kuramochi getting safe on that call, that was good. And then the power curveball and that cliffhanger, man. Again, I'm glad I'm watching 3 episodes at once, because if it ended on that cliffhanger and I waited a week, are you kidding me? No, that was like the worst cliffhanger, because I thought Miyuki missed it. I thought he missed it. And episode 15 starts out where that cliffhanger leads off, and the pressure is on Miyuki, because he's got to become the Triple C's, the captain, the catcher, and the cleanup. And Miyuki's a damn good catcher. He's having trouble as a captain, but he's starting to get back in good graces with everybody in these episodes. And then as a cleanup, he needed to make that hit to prove himself, to inspire the team. Like Yuki, it's kind of like Yuki's role as captain and as cleanup. Yuki was able to make a good hit and inspire the team. Miyuki has to do the same thing as well. And then, man, him getting Kuramochi home, like, Miyuki's had a great game. He's been on fire. He's, like, gotten, like, 3 hits. He's done really good in this game. And then I love how, as he's going to home, he says that he owes Nabe. He owes Nabe because Nabe told him about the hit. It's like, I just want him and Nabe to have a conversation after this game, win or lose, where I think they're going to win, because they need to go on, and we established this, the idea of the goal, the same game and goal. We'll talk about this in a second. I think they're going to win. It's just a matter of how. But I really hope him and Nabe have a conversation later where Miyuki can be like, look, maybe I wasn't expressing myself correctly. I wasn't doing maybe what a captain should have done, telling you to quit if you wanted to. I should have heard you out and let you talk a little bit more and explain how you felt. I was trying to be blunt, and I just need them to have another conversation. But Zono realizing just how good Miyuki is, he's like, you're a damn good catcher. I know that. You're a really good player, and you want the best for everyone, and you want us all to do our best. He's like, that's why I got so pissed off, because you had this moment of weakness, and it made him mad. And he's like, I hated seeing you like that. So when they do the high five at the end, it's like, when he holds up his hand to Zono, it's like, yes, that's all we needed, was them to just get that funk, get that drama out of here. And I like that they established, like, we all have different values and different ways that we view the game, but we're all playing the same game and we have the same goal. And that whole getting Kateoka to nationals, that's their goal right now. That's what they're pushing for. And they're all working together despite their differences in perspectives and values. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And then we have Itsuki showing up. Itsuki and Fuku-chan. I love Konitomo sent Itsuki to go watch the game, to learn from the catchers, right? Specifically from Miyuki, I'm sure, because Miyuki's such a good catcher. And what I love about it is Itsuki watching Miyuki and learning from him, and that moment where he tells Fuku-chan, he's like, I wanted to know what Miyuki told Furuya, because Itsuki wants to know what he needs to tell Mei. Because I'm sure he saw the parallels in that moment, and whatever Miyuki said got Furuya out of that funk. And I would give so much for Itsuki to go back and just be like, I want to be like that Miyuki guy from Seidou. Because that's who Mei wanted to be catcher. I really like Itsuki as a character. Harada's my favorite in a Shiro character. Itsuki may be my second favorite. I noticed I'm a big Catchers fan, but because I do like Miyuki. Chris Senpai is probably, I like Chris Senpai a little bit better than Miyuki, but I do like Miyuki a lot. But I think Itsuki, I like Harada and Itsuki for very different reasons, and Itsuki's growing on me so much that I just want him, I want Itsuki to put Mei in his place, like what Miyuki did to Furuya. If Itsuki told Mei off during a game, that would be amazing. I need that to happen. And I think it will at some point, because if Mei's going to realize who's in charge, then Itsuki needs to lay down the law, and I'm waiting for it, and it's going to be so good when it happens. It's going to be so good when it happens. So yeah, then there's this bowl cut with the cardigan. The bowl cut with the blue cardigan. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but he makes an appearance, him and this other guy that's with him. And the idea that Umemiya is like, we can't go on the defensive. We've got to stay offensive. So yeah, Miyuki having a baller game. Itsuki getting inspired by Miyuki. I was with Sawamura. I almost missed that second hit. I was in the middle of writing something down, and I almost missed that hit that Miyuki had. And so Sawamura's like, I missed it? What happened? I was with Sawamura on this. But yeah, 6-3. Still anybody's game, but 6-3. And then Miyuki being on fire as a player and like up in the anim as a captain. I love it. So there's still the Umemiya versus Furuya head games. Because when Umemiya ran to get Furuya out on that run, and he was like, we're not going to lose. And he tags him out. It's like Furuya getting challenged there, right? He's getting challenged in that moment, right? But the thing is, I think that Furuya is getting his second win now, and he's gonna move past the head games, which he needs to. Furuya's too dense for head games, like, let's be real. But there's a moment of Nabe and Sawamura admiring Miyuki and how good he's doing, especially Nabe. Like, Nabe has my heart in this set of episodes, and so I really hope they have a conversation. I really do. So there's this bowl cut in the cardigan. The bowl cut in the blue cardigan, him and this other guy that are clearly from another school, and they know Umemiya. They make a comment about Umemiya, so they have played Ugumori before. And I'm wondering, are these guys going to be new opponents? Are these guys going to be upcoming opponents? Are they going to face whatever team wins this? I get the feeling that the guy at the bowl cut is going to be our next opponent. If we beat Ugumori, that him and his friend there, the dark-haired guy, are going to be our next opponents. I just get that vibe. But yeah, just Ugumori not being phased. That's the thing. Seidou's getting their second win. Furuya's getting a second win. But Ugumori is not phased by all of this. They're okay with it. Everything's fine. And the manager, I want to know the backstory with the manager a lot. I get the feeling he was in an accident or something happened. It was cool seeing the background, the flashback with Umemiya before he had the pompadour when his hair was just kind of spiky, and seeing that he was kind of like Kuramochi, he was kind of like a delinquent. And then I'm guessing, because he's talked about quitting his first year of junior high, I'm guessing that whatever happened to now convinced them all to play again. So I'm curious. Now convinced them all to play again. But beyond that, I get the impression he makes the note that all the other players joined because of now. So I'm very curious to see like what the circumstances were surrounding that. So I'm hoping, I feel like the next 3 episodes we're still going to be playing this game, even though we're at the bottom of the 7th. There's usually at least 9. I feel like this game's going to go on 9 innings, so we'll have at least this next 3 episodes string. So I hope we get flashbacks with Now. I want more backstory with him and why these guys follow him, why they're so adamant about him. They have that ancient coach, but he seems like he's just there. They just stuck him there to be like, here's an adult. See, we're an official team, but he does nothing. It's all Now. So I'm very curious. But yeah, Umemiya, again, we talk about him being the engine of the team. Now makes the comment that as long as Umemiya is happy, the team is going to be okay. So as long as Umemiya is on his game, we're going to be fine. So that spirit of the ace, it kind of reminds me a lot of Sawamura, and it's odd because Umemiya is kind of in this sense sort of a mixture of Sawamura and Furuya. Like he has the reliability in his pitches that Furuya has been having the last couple innings, not at the start of the game, but the last couple innings. but he has that personality and that fire that Sawamura has. I can see how Furuya and Sawamura are aces in their own regard, because Furuya, when he's on a roll and he's doing really good, it's easy to see why people could get fired up by Furuya and why he can have that ace spirit. I get that. I still think Sawamura has maybe a little bit more of the spirit of the ace, because I think Sawamura is more adaptable to situations, even though he doesn't have as good of control perhaps as Furuya yet. But I still think Sawamura kind of edges out the spirit of the ace in my mind, but I'm biased because I like Sawamura a lot. So, but there's no denying that Furuya got his second win and started pitching better. And in the 7th inning was like, no, I'm not going to let this guy's head games get to me. I'm going to keep going. And I'm like, I love that. I'm glad that's happening. I'm glad that's happening now. That's a great thing. But yeah, and that smile, Furuya actually having a smile. I was like, oh, cool. Because usually Furuya's so serious, but you can tell Furuya's like really in his element. He's having fun. He's enjoying it. And that look that Sawamura gives Furuya at the end, it wasn't a look of jealousy. It wasn't a look of jealousy. It was like almost admiration and respect. That Furuya was like, oh, or Sawamura was like, oh, yeah, Furuya's in his element. He's in his game. Cool. And I feel like that maybe was the first time we really see Sawamura truly respect Furuya on the mound like that. So that could create a very interesting dynamic between the two of them, right? Because you have two really good pitchers. What are they going to do, right? So that's interesting. Very interesting. So I am curious to see what's going to happen. I'm glad we got rid of the drama this set of episodes, but I'm like, if we could just let that drama hang out and stay away for a while, that would be great. So I'm happy for Furuya. I'm proud of him. I thought he was going to get switched out at the end here, but he did not. So that was good. I'm very happy about that. But I still think that Seidou's going to win. It's just a matter of how and if they can keep the lead. The fact that Ugumori is still going strong, going into the bottom of the 7th, is still like, it could be anybody's game, because they scored 3 runs like in 1 inning, so it could just happen on a dime. There's no telling what's going to happen. It's like, as long as Furuya keeps it up, we should be okay. But these 3 episodes were really good. We went on just like a roller coaster of dread to inspiration to hopefulness with Furuya. Like, it was really, really good. And I loved seeing Itsuki there as well. So yeah, not an hour long worth of conversation. The last episode was just like a tour de force. The last set of episodes was like a tour de force in like a character study with May and these others. And in this episode, it was a little bit more straightforward with these episodes. But I like that Zono is there to try to keep Miyuki in his place and to help him remember that it's not just him that's mad, it's everybody else, and we still got to play. So, but yeah, these episodes were really, really good. I'm really excited to see what all goes down in the next set of episodes. So the next set of episodes I'll be watching is 17, 18, this is 13, 14, 15. It'll be 16, 17, and 18. So I'm pretty excited. But in the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back very soon with more Ace of the Diamond. Bye.